Yo, what is up, guys? And of course, if you looked at the title of the video, we're talking about the new Witcher 3 update. Now, I'll be honest, the craze is definitely about the multiple and numerous visual improvements that have been made to the game, particularly over on PC and on the next-gen consoles. But the update has not only blessed the brand new 9th generation consoles and PC. If you were still on the previous generation of consoles, if you're over on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One and the various variations of the console, you did receive an update as well. Me personally, I was over on the PlayStation 4 and I had a look and I saw that, there is a new update available for me. The size of the update, if you haven't checked it out for yourself as of yet, is about 11 gigabytes, and there's a number of new content that has been added to the game and the entire experience. The quality of life changes have not only been added to the next gen consoles but over also on the older consoles. If we look over here, of course the cross progression has been added. We now have the option to log in to your GOG account over on PlayStation, PS4, and you'll be able to log in, and there is an option to collect the rewards that are available to you if you choose to log in, and there is a number of armor sets and things that you are able to unlock. I'll explain a little bit more on how you'll attain that armor sets a little bit later. The other improvements that have been added to the game are definitely the huge multitude of quality of life upgrades and improvements that have been added to the game. I hopped into the game and I experienced it a bit. I logged into a previous save where I'd recently completed the Blood and Wine DLC, where I was able to successfully save the Duchess and her sister, and we definitely were able to enjoy a very nice and happy ending. And when I logged in, I actually forgot that I actually ended up romancing Yennefer because I expected to come back and see Triss. Well, I guess not everything can be fixed to perfect. This is RPG we're playing. But that's how I felt when I came back. There were a number of quality of life changes and some cool customizations that were now available to us. There are a whole lot more options that are available in the gameplay section of the menu. If we look over there, there are a whole lot of things and visual cues that you can choose to switch on or off. There are a number of outfits that are now available to us. We can now change the armor set for the Nilfgaardians if you want a look that's more similar to the one that is on the Netflix series The Witcher as well. There are a number of outfits that are newly available, such as the Dandelion, which is much more similar to the one that we see on the Witcher Netflix show as well. So definitely a motivation to make this new update and next gen update is definitely because of the TV show. Of course, the game came back way back in the day, 2016 I think. So this is a great way to introduce a whole lot of new players who really enjoy the show and want a new, really authentic and really good Witcher experience. This will definitely scratch that itch. Now, the quality of life changes don't only go into the accessibility options and you being able to cater to the experience the way that you enjoy. It's also inputted into the combat system. In this case, the camera has definitely changed and there are more options available to you in the camera options, but there has been a substantial change in terms of the gameplay and the options that they've given to you. Firstly, you now have the option to be able to simply tap L3 and you'll be able to sprint. No longer do you have to hold circle or hold X. I'm not sure I remember which button it was, but you had to hold down a button and then you'd be able to sprint. Now you can easily keep your hands and not move it around and keep it on the analog stick to be able to sprint with ease, like the majority of titles in other games that are already out there. On top of that, there has been a new rework to the way that you execute your signs. There is now a quick sign option. If you hold R2, you will have all the signs available to you assigned to each and every single button: triangle, square, X, and circle, and even L2. Each are designated to whatever sign that is assigned to, whichever one that you choose. So of course you now have the option to return to the previous sign style of before, which I honestly really enjoyed. But I guess if you're someone who wants it all to be easily accessible to you, this is a cool option to have. But for me personally, I think I'll be sticking over to the previous style because you don't chop and change the signs that you use at a time, because there is a substantial delay after you use a particular sign. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have quick signs unless they substantially increase or decrease the delay of which you can quickly chop and change in the use of signs. To be honest, as a little bit of a side note, I'm surprised whether this is a quality of life update or I don't know, but we now have the ability to comfortably deal with henchmen or guards that were initially essentially insta-death if you were ever to raise your hand against them. Now it seems you're able to completely rip them apart, but I don't think they take permanent damage from the entire encounter. Cool little change that they chose to make over here. Now, other than the multiple quality of life changes, including the ones added to the gameplay, there's a little bit of new content that they've blessed us with over at CD Projekt Red. They're slowly trying to gain our trust and forgiveness after that blunder that is Cyberpunk 2077. But regardless of that, they've created a new quest that will be available to you if you have downloaded the updates. It will be available to you over at Villain, and if you complete that quest, you'll be able to attain a number of rewards that coincide and are associated with the Witcher Netflix show. So you'll be able to sink your teeth into that content and look like the Geralt of Rivia from the show. Also, there is some new content that they give to us for absolutely free. If you made the choice to sign into GOG and you've made a GOG account, you will be able to go up and pick up a number of extra materials that will be available to you. Now, I'll be honest, I'm someone who's completed the game, and I have the Witcher set of the Griffin, I think it is, and I've essentially maxed it out. I have the Grandmaster armor, so whichever armor I truly pick up isn't really going to be up to scratch. So honestly, I think if you are perhaps starting a brand new playthrough, this will be some content that you will definitely appreciate to start off the game on a high note. It's definitely mediocre content, and I did think it's a little bit strange. You are informed about this brand new content that you're able to pick up via GOG by a letter from Yennefer, and I did find it a wee bit strange that she said your friend. And if you look at the bottom of the letter, whether you've chosen to romance Yennefer or not, it's still written your friend Yennefer, which I find a bit strange, because if you consider the continuity, if let's say for example we're able to access this content immediately after we're given the quest of Ciri, if you haven't met Triss or done or gone to Novigrad or even started that storyline, you are essentially kind of lovers in a sense. So I just found it a wee bit strange that they said your friend in that letter. But anyway, that's a small gripe, and we can definitely look past that. If you have a look over here on the map section of the game, they've now given us the option to completely hide the map markers that were previously always shown to you pretty much. So you can completely remove this, so if you want a more organic experience of how you want to explore the world, it is available to you if you deem so. And I'm not going to lie, the map marker, this new map marker that's available to you if you go over to Villain over at the top of the hill, it's a blessing. Truly a blessing right here. Goodness me, bro, how long have I been requesting Castle Village? Oh man, what a quality marker right there, bro. That's what we're talking about when we mean quality of life improvements, man. But yeah, guys, if you are also on these older gen consoles, you have purchased The Witcher 3, or you just got an older gen console and maybe you're thinking about finally picking up The Witcher 3, this is definitely a good time to do it. They're obviously keeping an eye on the game, and they're of course still, surprisingly supporting the experience with a number of other bug fixes to other problematic quests that have now been solved thanks to this brand new patch. So if you guys are thinking about finally picking up The Witcher 3, you've been interested, there have been some cool changes that have been added to the game, this is a perfect time to finally step in, whether you're on old gen or on next gen. Of course, if you're on next gen, you're going to have a much more interesting and exciting experience if we include the visual upgrades. But hey, if you haven't gone time or you haven't been able to pick up a next gen console, it's worth updating The Witcher 3 and having a little bit of fun with the experience. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take it easy.